Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion, plays the Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. We've had up and down runs, but, you know, ending in the up position, which is important. You don't want to end in the down position, because that means you lost. I'm not sure if that was self-evident. ZZ7M, 8LMQ, with question marks abounding. Jacob's Ladder, I 100% actually forgot what this item was. Just by name alone, I was like, I don't remember it. When it said Electric Tears, I was like, I get it. I will apologize, by the way. I am a little hoarse, doing a little throat clearing. Don't know what it is. I had one of those sleeps where the amount of sleep I got, if you just looked at it without context, was pretty okay. But I feel like the quality of sleep I got was like, something was not right. It's like I was out, but I was only getting like 20% efficiency. It was like eating a meal that's like 80% fiber, you know? You're full, but then like an hour later you're hungry as well. Like my first thought when I woke up was like, man, I could really use a nap. It's not a common situation for me to nap. And I definitely will not nap today. It's not braggadocious. I just, you know. There is no time for napping on a Thursday. You work by recording, you stream, you co-op stream, you eat dinner. By the time that's over, it's like 9:30 p.m. You can't nap at 9:30 p.m. I don't know why I said it like that. P.m. That's just called sleeping. It's when you go to sleep early. Anyway, not that I'm trying to complain. Not at all. Just giving you a little bit of context for if you ever hear me go, ahem, cough, cough, it's not me trying to do what they do in the movies where they signal like, hey, stop talking about that thing, dummy. Is me going, ahem, I have phlegm in my throat for some reason. Where does this phlegm even come from? Why is my throat's health so linked to the quality of sleep I get? Anyway, you get the general gist of it. It is indeed a Thursday. The last videos were recorded. It's no good for us. Were recorded on a Wednesday when I had nothing going on in my life. I'm gonna tell you, it's Thursday. Pretty much in the same boat. In fact, like, I'm realizing... Okay, hold on. We'll try. We definitely do want Mr. Boom for reusable bombs for now. The number one thing on my mind is like, hey, I've been doing this Northernlion Tries series. Is really nice. And, you know, thank you for your support on it. I've talked about it, I think, in the Isaac episodes recently. But, I mean, there's positives and there's negatives. The positives are I get to check out new games on the regular, which is a lot of fun. The negative is that I am an idiot and I launched this series in December when there's not that many huge releases, and moreover, the Steam Winter Sale literally just started. So, like, almost no, I don't want to say credible games are coming out because that's rude, but, like, most companies and developers who are publishing their games with, you know, like, consideration and like, professionalism, without making it sound ridiculous, they try to stay away from events like this because you get overshadowed by the fact, you know, you come out with, like, a $15 indie game, and they're like, well, I could buy your indie game for $15, or I could buy, you know, Sekiro. You know, it's not the greatest time to get press on your game, which is ironic because now I'm like, please come out with games so I can do press on them. So I spend like half an hour a day now just scrolling through new releases on Steam and being like, I don't know if this is gonna be a fit. But we're persevering. It's not to say there's not gems amidst the detritus. Not a good bomb. Try again. Good bomb. But it's a hard time for it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But that's okay. You know? You should be thankful and feel, oh, that was not very smart, and feel blessed that the hardest time for this series is when it's rated at the start. You know why? Because that means our passion is also at its strongest right now. I think Succubus is just better, and that's a fact. I'm hoping, I was just gonna say, we could pick up some Spirit Hearts alongside of it. I don't really want that. I think I'd rather swing for another Spirit Heart. And if we can walk in and get Gimpy, I would be stoked, but obviously that's not gonna happen. But I'm still thankful to have Succubus nonetheless. I think it's... Yikes, that was close. I think it's gonna pay dividends for us. You know, I've learned... I love Gimpy as an item. You know, you've seen me use it and prioritize it in numerous other situations in the past. But I just think you gotta prioritize damage in this situation. My 2 cents. You know, the flip side, and you always gotta look on the bright side. I'm a firm believer of the fact that, you know, everything in life has positives and negatives. And that's not a good attitude to have in all situations. You know, it's not like, you know, if you get in a terrible accident and you lose a limb and you're like, well, on the bright side, think about how much weight you just lost, you know? I find it annoying when people constantly look on the bright side in situations that are not bright. However, I also find it 10 times more annoying when people constantly look at the negative side of things in a situation that is mixed to fair, you know? You know, people, they could, like, win the lottery, and they'd be like, but think of how much income tax I gotta pay now. You know, you're like, you gotta talk to somebody, because you're just never gonna be happy if you have that attitude. Anyway. The point is, there's positives and negatives. The negative is harder to find compelling new games I'm interested in playing during this unique period. The positive is I've had so much more time to play stuff that I didn't get to play earlier in the year, like Hades. That game is fantastic. Finally having, you know, a little bit of strategy in my runs in that game, and I don't think the series that is run for it is going to run for a super long time, just because that's not the direction I want to, like, run things right now, but I cannot deny that is a very good roguelite. I hate to say it. Oh, we get both. That's right, you get both, and then you put this down, you get Magic Mush. Well, you know, I thought maybe we could incept it into reality. You guys see the trailer / teaser for Christopher Nolan's new film, Tenet? It's gonna go up against Hannibal Buress' new film. It comes out on the same day in 2020. It's called Landlord. Tenet Landlord? I know it's not the same word, but it's close enough. You've laughed at worse jokes, don't lie to me. I've seen them. I follow you on Twitter. That's not true, but ever since Twitter changed its display preferences so that you see tweets from people who you don't follow, but from people who you follow, I know that sounds strange, but I've seen some stuff that I can't take back. All I'm gonna say is y'all are way too open with your self-love habits on Twitter. I'm not gonna say I admire it. I do support it. But at the same time, sometimes I go to Twitter, and I'm like, I wonder what's going on in the world right now. And then it shows me a tweet from a dude who's like, I've been J-O-ing a lot recently. And I'm like, alright. Maybe I'll delete this app off my phone forever. I'm not saying he shouldn't be doing the J-O, okay? All I'm saying is, you don't have to tell people. You could. I can't stop you. It's not like I'm saying don't do that. But I don't want to see it. And the only way for me not to see it in the modern Twitter era, great damage there, is for you not to say it, because why would you? But anyway, I don't know. Pockets of the internet, different opinions on this stuff than I do, for sure. If you wanna do that 20 times a day, sounds good to me. I mean, no, it sounds like torture to me, and, you know, I don't think I possess that much lotion. Luckily, our healthcare is free, because I might need a transplant afterwards, but, you know, that's not my place, it's your place. But to be like, hey, Twitter, check it out, I just did this. I'm like, did not need to know that. Also, prospective employers probably didn't need to know that if you go in for a job interview and they Google you. But hey, I don't know. Where am I going with this? Anyway, the teaser for Tenet looks good. That's the bit, okay? That's the bit is... I know it's like a meme. Like, Christopher Nolan is in some ways a meme because he is like the director that men in my demographic love the most. You know, Memento, Inception, Interstellar, Dunkirk, The Dark Knight. These are all films that are like insanely popular amongst, I mean, like kind of the world, but especially like always online men between the ages of like 20 and 40, for sure. I would love, the contrarian in me, cannot do it, would love to be like, yeah, Christopher Nolan's not that good. But I kind of think like he is, or at least every other Christopher Nolan movie, every second Christopher Nolan movie, he seems to have a cool idea. You know what I mean? He seems to make an original movie. Like, I know people have problems with Inception, but Inception is a very bold concept for a big budget action movie, for sure. Interstellar, people have problems with that I do not disagree with. I think that movie is great, but not maybe a masterpiece. That's just my 2 cents. But again, very ambitious. I don't know, man. I just want some spirit hearts, please. Yeah, when I said spirit hearts, what I meant is a 9th something's wrong pill to accomplish exactly nothing. Run, because this is a very scary room right now. In fact, like, if I'm being honest, my least favorite Christopher Nolan movie, and I've seen, you know, Memento, I've seen Insomnia, pretty sure I've seen them all. Dunkirk is good, but it's probably like second last, but The Dark Knight Rises is, in my opinion, not a good movie. It turns me into a YouTube movie reviewer, where I'm like, you know, let me get this straight. Batman's spine gets fixed by him getting punched in the back? I don't get it. But everything else, I'm like, as much as I talk about Marvel this, Marvel that all the time, The Dark Knight is definitely up there as far as, like, the best superhero movies ever made. It's just a good, like, crime movie. I know people get annoyed when you say that stuff, but, like, it's true! Just because there's a man wearing a mask doesn't mean it has to be a juvenile film, you know what I mean? People wear masks in Heat as well. Okay, this is where we have an obligation to pick up some spirit hearts. I'm not even picking up car battery. I'm not picking up anything but, like, raw HP right now. We need as much as we can to finance future devil deals, and I'm willing to go pretty deep on this one to make it happen. That's huge. That's a level of maturity I haven't often had in this game. Normally, I'd just be like, let's take car battery so we can get double Mr. Booms. You know, hold on, is this luck? You gotta at least check, right? How about this one? But, I mean, I think Christopher Nolan, he makes movies that I want to see, you know? He makes big budget, relatively high concept action movies with a science fiction influence. I don't want to be the dude who's like, you know, this is art. But for me, it is artful. I can get down with your Noah Baumbachs, your Alexander Paynes, of course, the Coen brothers, etc., etc. I can't deny, sometimes I'm like, you know, it would be a sick movie What if there was a gun that travels through time? I'm like, whoa, dude. It's really... You're throwing me for a looper. You guys remember when Looper came out? They showed all those photos of Joseph Gordon-Levitt photoshopped to look like a young Bruce Willis. Anyway, I don't even... There's no point to bringing that up. There's just a certain... Sometimes Joseph Gordon-Levitt's face... but with Bruce Willis's eyebrows and forehead pops into my head, and I'm just like... Just a weird non sequitur. It's like an earworm for your eyes. An eye worm, if you will. What is Joseph Gordon-Levitt up to, anyway? I'm gonna look that up. Last movie I saw, I mean, at the dawn of this decade, he was in freaking everything. Coming off of 500 Days of Summer, you know, it felt like, and Inception for that matter, felt like you couldn't shake a stick without hitting a Joseph Gordon-Levitt film. Now I'm like, the last thing I saw him in was Oliver Stone's Snowden, which I actually thought was pretty okay. But I feel like I haven't seen him in things in a while. This is where you bust out the Google Assistant. Joseph Gordon-Levitt films. Thank you, Succubus. He was kind of like an it guy for a while. What happened? Take a look. What's he been in? Yeah, I know he was in 10 Things I Hate About You. Hold on. Hold on! This is important. What's he been in recently? Maybe he retired. Hold on, I'm scrolling. Filmography. Yeah, I know he's known for Inception, dude. The Trial of the Chicago 7. Oh, he's a voice in Knives Out. He's a voice in The Last Jedi. And then Snowden. So it turns out I wasn't really missing much. He's been a voice actor for, you know, Aliens and a couple of things. And then, oh, you know what? Now I'm realizing he's got a real Rian Johnson connection. Because he was in Brick, the 2007 teenage noir film. And he was also the star of Looper, so it makes sense that he's... I mean, look at, he's a successful actor. I'm not suggesting that he doesn't, you know, that his career has faded away for, you know, one reason or another that wasn't in his control. I mean, it's kind of the reason people get envious of Hollywood actors and actresses, right? It's not like they're like, man, it would be so fun to act in movies. It's like, man, you could make like a few movies, and then if you didn't want to do it anymore, you could just stop forever. It's a level of freedom most people don't get in their professions. And we'll just leave that moment there for a second. You give it an extra couple of beats, it's like a song, and then you go, haha, oh, that's right, okay, and then you move on. Take me down to the next floor. Curse of Darkness, Necropolis 2. This run is at a, it's at a pivotal position right now. With all sincerity. We have actually pretty bad DPS. Jacob's Ladder does help out. And now, having Sad Bombs plus Mr. Boom plus Jacob's Ladder, that's a better than mild synergy, for sure. I think you gotta... Yikes. You gotta look to that as a big positive. And we were looking for good cards here. Yes. Decent. We'll take, I think we'll just use 2 of diamonds once we pick this up, and okay, that's fair. I know we could use the money, but I really don't want to lose the momentum with this Emperor card. Could allow us to get, right, fair enough. Fair, okay, yikes. Could allow us to get into Boss Rush. That was embarrassing. That's okay. I think, the dream now... Wait, didn't we get 9 volt? No, we must have not had the money for it when it showed up. Because in my mind's eye, I have an image of 9 volt existing on this run. Definitely car battery we did not get, but... Even, you know, if we use a sad bomb once every 2 rooms and use Mr. Boom on the other rooms, I think we're going to be sitting relatively pretty here. I think we are going to be having a good time. Sorry, my brain went, good time. You're getting a little preview into the Northernlion anecdote generator, the banter algorithm. It went, good time. Movie. Robert Pattinson. Tenet. No, we already did that one. But then I thought of the landlord joke again, and I went, ha ha ha. I'm on an anti-landlord kick, okay? Because our landlord asked us to do the showings of our old apartment. I told you it radicalized me. It's a new era of me being angry at people wealthier than myself. I'm not posting Mao pictures on Twitter yet. In fact, I never will. The only photo of that regard I'll post on Twitter is an Ayla Mao photo. Remember that meme? Those were the days. Anyway. Let's move on. I'm not upset about it anymore. I'm just kind of incredulous. Like, I'm waiting for a new text from my landlord to be like, you know, oh, what are you gonna say this time? Hey, could you pay my property taxes for me? It's really only fair. You lived in the building. Anyway, let's not even go down this road. We don't need to go down this road. This road is unnecessary. Alright, neither of those are good enough to be excited for. So instead, we will save our Emperor card and use it on this floor. And the idea really is that, I know I said last floor is where it's all going to come together. Well, we whiffed on our 2/3 devil chance, unfortunately. This floor is where it's all going to come together. We get 100% devil chance. A nice tiers upgrade. Sure, why not? It's good. It's good. We don't need missing page 2. You know, I have a general rule in Isaac. If an item has been in the game for 5 years and I've taken it 250 times and I still don't know what it does, it's probably not good enough to really concern yourself with on the regular. I hate to say it, because there are good items where I'm like, I don't know, dude, your tears get red. But if nothing in my subconscious has ever been like, yeah, you gotta take this item. I know it gives you a demon heart when you pick it up, but what else? What else does it do? You gotta impress me. I'm coming off Hades, a game where, you know, when you pick up a perk, it's like, Zeus's lightning comes down and strikes all enemies in an area for 1.5 seconds. It does 40 damage per lightning strike and jumps between 2 and 3 enemies. And Isaac is like, I don't know, dude, evil up. Figure it out, dummy. You got a brain. Evil up, dude. It's not that hard. Why use many words when few words do trick? That hurt. I was gonna say send me, but then I got hit simultaneously. It created a great sense of despair that exited my respiratory system as an aspiration with a tone attached to it, also known as a sigh. But not PSY, the Gangnam Style guy. Hey, he's done other songs, I know. Look, I follow the modern social media climate. I aim not to upset the K-pop audience. Stan Luna and stream BTS's new album. I'm trying to be a friend of the Zoomers. Occasionally, now we're gonna get into it, okay? Now we're getting into a community management aspect. And this thread did not actually bother me, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna mine this for humor in an Isaac episode. Somebody posted a thread on my subreddit that was like, hey, does anybody, and you're probably watching this video, in which case, I hope that you'll take this opportunity to learn about how your comments seemed from the other side. They said, hey, does anybody else think it's super cringeworthy that Ryan's trying to appeal to a younger audience with phrases like, okay, boomer, and blah, 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 blah? Brother, what the heck are you talking about? Have you ever listened to an Isaac episode? I spend the whole time talking about stuff that boomers could not, or zoomers could not care less about. Oh, what are the central themes of nihilism in David O. Russell's 2004 film, I Heart Huckabees? What are the implications of Jude Law's Shania Twain story from the 2004 film I Heart Huckabees, directed by David O. Russell? Hey, you guys remember that David O. Russell rant from when he was filming I Heart Huckabees and he yelled at Lily Tomlin? All I talk about is I Heart Huckabees, dude. Zoomers don't care about that at all, but, you know, you talk about that stuff, people go, ah, that's NL. You say yeet one time, and they're like, won't somebody, he's trying to pander to a younger audience. But then, on the flip side of that, hello, Ruka. On the flip side of that, somebody posted in that thread and said, he's a boomer, what do you expect? And then I looked at their post history, because I always do, and they had made a post that was like, am I weird for listening to music almost every day? And I just went, you know what? I don't think I need to take this thread too seriously. So I've been looking more closely at my YouTube analytics because I've been, you know, doing the Northernlion tries stuff. So, you know, to be honest, there's not much point of looking at my analytics prior to doing new stuff because for the most part, you're like, yeah, I get it. All the videos do the same numbers. Isaac, Tetris, NLSS VODs, they're like, they're steady. They're steady and slowly going down. Like, I don't mean that to be a negative thing, but it's like, you know, that's just the trajectory that media takes, you know? Like, you look at the Hangover 1's box office, does gangbusters. You look at the Hangover 45, Zach Galifianakis Safari Adventure, you're like, oh, that's not doing as well as the first one did, you know? Old things don't grow forever, which is why we need this DLC to come out. But, you know, there was no real point to looking at the analytics because it was basically just like looking at the same number all the time. But now I've been looking at them more because of the Northernlion tries stuff and, you know, seeing what works, what sort of works, and what doesn't work at all. And the side effect of that is that I've looked at my demographics and I'm like, man, we have like this channel I think is unique. Not totally unique amongst YouTube gamers, but like definitely on the unique side. The proportion of people that are between the ages of 18 and 34 that watch these videos is like so much higher than what you'd expect. Because the caricature of like YouTube gaming videos is that the audience is entirely like, you know, 14 years old, right? And sometimes when I read some nasty comments, I'm like, don't worry, this guy's 14 years old. And then I look at my demographics and I'm like, oh my god, there's a 38% chance this guy is older than me. What? So that's flattering, though. Suffice it to say, I'm not trying to appeal to a Zoomer audience. If anything, I'm possibly the perfect millennial. Right there in the millennial range. hidden the 25 to 34 demographic with style and aplomb. Still, 95% male audience, 5% female, but straight up, like 4 years ago, it was like 98 male, 2 female. So, hey, we're starting to become, pardon me, a little caffeine burp. We're starting to become older, and we're starting to become a little bit more diverse. I have to say, I don't think it's a coincidence that my female viewership has gone up as my muscle mass has. I mean, what can you say? Flaunt it if you got it. I went bald when I was 19. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. I'll set a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. See ya!